Wireless communication is one of the fastest growing technologies nowadays. So wireless LANs can be found on campuses, in office buildings and in airports and other public places. IEEE has defined specifications for wireless LANs called as 802.11. There are majorly two promising technologies nowadays. One is IEEE standard, that is 802.11. The other protocol is the Bluetooth protocol, which we already know. So here we are going to study mainly IEEE 802.11 protocol stack and how it works. So 802.11 covers both physical and the data link layers. The standard defines two kinds of services, BSS and ESS. BSS is nothing but basic service set. ESS is extended service set. IEEE 802.11 defines basic service set as the building block for wireless LANs. So here you can see two pictures. The one is ad hoc networks, the other one is infrastructure. Basic service set is the collection of mobile or stationary wireless devices with an optional access point. The central base station. Access point is nothing but a central base station, okay, which is used to send or receive data from other BSSs. Okay, so here the one without the access point is called as ad hoc network. The BSS with access point is called as infrastructure. So basically we have two types of architectures in BSS. One is without AP. So the stations which are part of BSS here are ad hoc in nature. They agree to each other that they will send or receive data and form a network without access point. So basically the data will be moving in this particular BSS only. It will not be communicated to other BSSs. If you have access point, then all the stations which are part of this particular BSS are agreed to share and receive data from access point, which can in turn transfer the data or send or receive data from other BSS which have access points. So both the architectures are there in BSS. The options are there. One is called as without AP, it is called as ad hoc network. With AP is sometimes called as infrastructure BSS. The next type is extended service set. So extended service set is nothing but a collection of BSSs, that is basic service set, which are connected through a distribution system. This distribution system can be any standard IEEE LAN like Ethernet. So this distribution system connects all access points together and makes a distribution system so that one BSS can talk to the other BSS. So here in the diagram you can see access points, stations, and then distribution system. So usually here you can see two types of systems. One is mobile stations, the other one is stationary stations. So mobile stations are nothing but all these are mobile stations. AP is fixed, it doesn't move, so it is a stationary. These APs are connected through the distribution system so that one station in one BSS can talk to the other station which is there in a different BSS through APs and then through the distribution system. Here you can also notice that one station can be part of one or more BSS. Here you can see this station is belonging to this BSS as well as this BSS. In that case, how it communicates with other BSS we will see further in other slides. So once this distribution can be connected to server or gateway to send or receive data to other ESS as well. IEEE 802.11 standard defines three types of stations based on their mobility in a wireless LAN. So one is no transition. So here the stations are either stationary or moving only within a particular BSS. Second one is BSS transition. Here the stations can move from one BSS to another. Third one is ESS transition. Here the stations can move from one ESS to another. In this particular slide, you can see the IEEE 802.11 protocol stack. As you can see, the upper layers are not explained here because we are concentrating only on the data link layer and the physical layer. So the MAC sublayer is divided into, the data link layer is divided into logical link control and the media access control sublayers. Now if we consider the MAC sublayer, furthermore, if you can see in this particular diagram, the MAC sublayer is expanded. So here you have two types of functions. One is point coordination function and the distributed coordination function, which are the functions of MAC sublayer. And you can also see the physical layer. It can implement any of the transmission methods like FHSS, DSSS, infrared, OFDM, DSS, etc. So basically we are concentrating on the MAC layer in this particular presentation. So 802.11 protocol stack, here where we have seen MAC sublayer, it determines how the channel is allocated and which station is allowed to transmit next. Obviously, MAC means media access control. So how you are going to access the medium is the basic thing behind a MAC sublayer. It has to concentrate on that. That is the task of MAC sublayer. So LLC sublayer hides the differences between the 802 variants and makes them transparent to the network layer. What type of 802 variant you are going to use below? Okay, that is hidden from the network layer. So the network layer acts as normal even though you have used some other technology for transmitting the data. So transmission techniques can be infrared, short range radios, etc. 802.11 MAC sublayer protocol is different from that of Ethernet due to inherent complexity of the wireless environment compared to that of a wired system. So usually in wired system we go for CSMA-CD protocol to detect the collisions in the physical layer. But here we cannot use the same protocol because of the following reasons. For collision detection, a station should be able to send data and receive collision signals at the same time, which will be expensive in wireless environment, and it increases the bandwidth requirements to hear the collision properly. The second one is collision may not be able to be detected due to hidden station problem, which in detail we are going to discuss in the later slides. The third reason could be signal fading due to distance between stations. Two stations which are having a collision may be far apart, so that the collision signal will be faded before it could be heard from the other station. So these could be three possible reasons why, because of which we are not able to implement CSMA-CD. Instead of that, we are going to implement CSMA-CA, that is collision apart from collision detection, it is CSMA-CA, collision avoidance. As stated earlier, there are two major protocols in 802.11 MAC layer. This is nothing but distributed coordination, which doesn't have any central control, so it is contention service. The other one is point coordination function, PCF. It uses base station to control all activities in a cell. That means it uses AP, and it has a contention free service. So coming to DCF mode, what happens here when you try to send or receive data and try to find out the collision? So there are two ways. One is physical channel sensing that we see first. Then we will see how NAV helps to find out the collision in this particular mode. So in physical channel sensing, the two stations, one is the source and the other one is the destination. The station which wants to transmit some data to the destination system what it will do, it will start sensing the medium by checking the energy at the carrier frequency. So it keeps on sensing the medium, so to find out whether the medium is busy or free to send, for it to send the data. So it uses a persistence strategy with back off until the channel becomes idle. Once it finds out that the channel is idle, what it does is it doesn't send the data immediately. It again waits a period of something called as distributed interframe space, DIFS time. Then station sends a control frame called as request to send. So this can be seen in this particular diagram. So this is the source station and this is the destination station and this is the medium. So what the source is doing, it is keep on sensing the medium. Once it finds this medium is idle, it waits for a period of DIFS time. Then it will send a control frame called as request to send. That means it is telling the destination that I'm requesting that I'm going to send some data to you. Then once it sends RTS, after receiving the RTS and waiting for a period of time called as short interframe distance, SIFS, the destination station sends a control frame called as clear to send to the source station. That means once it receives RTS request to send, the destination station waits a period of SIFS and it will send a control frame called as clear to send, so that the destination is telling the source that you can send the data to me, I am free. Now what happens next? So once it receives CTS, it doesn't directly start sending the data. So it again waits for a period of SIFS. It is short interframe space. Okay, short interframe space. So the source station, after waiting SIFS time, starts sending the data. So once the data is received here, again the destination station waits for a period of SIFS time to send back the acknowledgement. This is how in the physical channel sensing method, this is how the data is sent and received. Before sending the data, how the control frames are sent and received to avoid the collision, okay, so that the data is not lost. In the next presentation, we are going to see how virtual channel sensing method is used to avoid the collision.